Hello everybody, this is Uterjelf911 here for Spec Ops The Line, Chapter 5, The Edge. In the last chapter we found a lot of the refugees, actually, and we believe now that the 33rd has been split in two and kind of been fighting against themselves. At least that's what we know so far. So yeah. Chapter 5, we start, of course, by going down, because, you know, we're always getting down in this game. Now, one of the things I haven't really talked about, I've talked a lot about how, like, the visuals are really, like, good, like, from an aesthetic standpoint, not from a technical standpoint. I believe this is really the first time in the game where we get to see the really good aesthetic design of the game. I need to stop saying so much. I need to shut my mouth when I'm going to do that, because that is really distracting and not very good for presentation and commentary. One thing we haven't really seen much of in this game, in terms of being good, is the sound design, which is very good, actually, in this game. Not so much the technical stuff of, there I go with the ums again. Not so much with the technical stuff in terms of gun sounds and things like that, but the soundtrack actually in this game is quite good. It is definitely inspired by Apocalypse Now, a lot of it. Which is not entirely a bad thing. Apocalypse Now did have a very good soundtrack. I'm sorry, I just had to stop myself after saying again. I probably shouldn't care that much, because I'm not going to stop it, at least not until I get used to actually making videos again, which I have not done in a long time. Now, I started wondering, though, about how much the sound design actually affects this game, because I don't think it's as... It's really good, but I don't think it's as crucial to this game as it is in a lot of others. Because there are a lot of games where the soundtrack really is what makes a lot of it good. Or the game very good. I started thinking of a lot of the Final Fantasy games, actually, I feel would kind of not be very good if they did not have the Uematsu soundtrack that they do. Because it's kind of interesting, though, that the quality of the Final Fantasy games started going down a whole lot when Nobuo Uematsu stopped scoring them. Though it probably had just as much to do with Hironobu Sakaguchi not working on the games anymore and leaving. But, a lot of those games actually, like the super spoiler moment in Final Fantasy VII, that, everybody knows. I'm not gonna actually say it out of courtesy of anyone who somehow does not know that spoiler, but really, when I played Final Fantasy VII for the first time, already knowing that spoiler going in, naturally the scene did not affect me very much, because, I knew it going in. So any shock it had, and I didn't bother, like, getting really attached or using the character very much. Still, the score, the soundtrack in that scene is so good that even though I wasn't really, that's a floating hat. Even though the scene didn't do much for me on a literal level of, like, what was going on the soundtrack is so good in that scene that it really makes the scene work, even though I already knew it going in. And that's probably why it continues to work on people, even though everyone's kind of known about that spoiler. It's probably the most famous spoiler for anything. I would say that and like the Rosebud in Citizen Kane. They're kind of like the spoilers that everyone knows. Doesn't stop them from being really good though. Actually, I have really complicated and kind of bizarre feelings on Final Fantasy VII. I have a lot of problems with it. I don't think it's as good as a lot of people say. I think it is definitely a game everybody should play. Though, it is definitely worth it. It is very, just because of its influence, it is definitely a game that you should play if you haven't. Especially if you're an RPG fan. But in that case, you've probably already played it. But that's not really what I want to get into talking about. Let's go ahead and... I hate the executions in this game, but I don't want to waste ammunition. Just... they make me sick doing it. Well, let's listen to this intel real quick.
CIA Ops Squad, codename Gray Fox. Known members include Thomas Daniels, Brian Castovan, Jeff Riggs, and Rick Gould. Interrogation of Daniels has revealed CIA to be responsible for attacks on our outposts throughout the city. CIA attacks have been aided by members of local populace, heretofore referred to as insurgents. Insurgents believed to be operating directly outside our territory. Daniels' questioning has revealed possible location of stronghold. Raid has been scheduled with intent to neutralize CIA threat and establish order in the area. If all else fails, recommend use of Daniels to lure other CIA members into the open.
Well, I feel like I say well a lot after many of the intels, because I usually don't know. I don't know exactly what to say after those, because I don't know. They're kind of hard to discuss. Kind of, not really. I'm just not creative or entertaining or enjoyable at all. I'm completely emotionless and basically a zombie. So, you know.
Could be useful. Scout tactical. Nice gun. They're waiting for us. If we cross now, we're dead.
Well, this is sort of a sniping sequence, as you can tell. If you can't tell, you probably are not familiar with very many things at all. Or just not familiar with shooters. Let's...
Start us off, Hugo. Got it. Taking him out.
The sort of issue I always have in these sequences is the zooming on rifles, of course, is going to be constricted, and I am not very good at sniping. I would say I'm a fair accurate shooter in games, but like, for whatever reason with sniper rifles, I am not very good.
I think we're clear. Let's move up, but keep your eyes peeled.
So yeah, let's keep going and drop down.
Move fast, stay low.
Shit! Incoming helo!
I hear it.
She's a big bitch, ain't she? Yeah, and her friends know exactly where we are.
Get ready. They're headed right for us.
More grunts headed our way!
Now I always remember this part being in the harder difficulties, kind of challenging. It's probably going to be hard here too. I don't know why. Hopefully I don't have kind of embarrassing amount of deaths that I did in chapter 4. Probably will. There's one other point in the game I can think of. There's one part of the game I can think of where I find that death is kind of unavoidable because it is not a very well balanced sequence in terms of difficulty. It's not that bad though. I started to like come on, why do you have to be shooting at that guy? I would have had...
Target! Take him out!
Taking him out!
I don't see the helicopter, though. I'm trying to... I don't think it shows up for a little bit.
Pay attention! We got movement! Look out!
Hostile down!
Shit, man, we're taking some heavy
Concentrate
fire!
fire!
Time to grab this, then. Actually, I should probably, you know, like, on the difficulty of this game, I'm not entirely sure how much of the sort of difficulty of this game is bad, because I do think that if this game were fun, it would kind of lose a lot of its power, but I don't know if this sort of, it is not very balanced. I've mentioned balance a lot. It's not a, as a game, you feel like a lot of deaths are kind of cheap because of the way the AI works, and oh, what's it called? The going behind cover is kind of sticky. Then again, you know, a lot of games actually are quite sticky on that sort of thing, on their cover mechanics, and including Uncharted, I would say, is not a very good cover system. Where is someone? I don't... Lugo said something about someone, but I don't see anybody. And they're shooting at someone that I don't see.
Then we keep moving.
Oh well. But yeah, this game is not... I feel as though a lot of the deaths in this game are cheap because of the sticky controls and everything. I do think that is the one thing in this game that should have been done better from a gameplay perspective, is improve the cover mechanics or scale down the difficulty, because this is not a game where the difficulty is where you get your enjoyment from. It's not a game where mastering it from a gameplay perspective is the fun part. I hesitate to use the word fun, or like the engaging part, I think is better to say. This, again, very story driven, so I feel as though a lot of the playing through a lot of these portions of the game that are more cheap. You know, I don't know why I remember that section being so difficult.
How long you think Daniels can hold out?
Not much longer.
Is this one of the only parts of the game where we don't do that? It's one of the only parts of the game where we actually ascend. I can't think of any other like examples. But then it's just right back down again.
Can't go that way.
Oh. Oh, there it is. Or, well, not there it is. There's these things that happen. This is the part. I remember this part having a really... this part introduces a really strange enemy, actually, in this game. That guy right there that I just shot. There are some enemies in this game. They're very annoying, and it's very strange that just run... They don't have a gun, they just run at you with a knife. And I believe they're a one-hit kill. At least they are on the hardest difficulty. I'm sure they are here, too. Considering that there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of difference between the difficulties, it seemed pretty fairly even across. I think the big difference I've noticed is the number of enemies. They seem to be lesser here. Now, where could somebody be?
Here I go! Watch out! Crazy folks out tonight coming in! Weapon expert! Repel team coming in at 12 o'clock!
One down!
Hostile west shotgun coming our way! Watch yourselves! Got a moving target! One in the open!
Focus on my target!
Got it!
Ooh, that is something I have not mentioned, actually, that I think is worth listening to. If you do play the game, or, you know, here, if you're watching it here, is the comments Walker makes when he gives the order to aim at somebody or to take out an enemy to his squad. Just listen to the sort of diction that he uses throughout the game and kind of the way it changes, because I think it is what I love about this game in terms of the character perspective. The game as a whole, in the end, it pretty much, I don't know why your guys on your squad look basically, they look the same as everybody else. Naturally they would, because same uniforms, but maybe they could have differentiated it better or always had their names above them, I don't know, but it's only when you aim at them that it does. But, it's the subtle things like that, like the sort of executions, how sort of throughout the game they get worse, and the comments he makes when he orders his squad to aim at someone, to kill someone. Subtle things like that are really good in making this game. Stop shooting that thing on there. Don't shoot at that. AI's dumb in this video game. I probably should not have gone up that close. That was a bad idea. I'm feeling very disjointed right now. I don't know why. I feel as though I should comment on this, though. This load screen right here, I absolutely love that image there, specifically like with the face and everything. I think the load screens in this game are probably the best I've ever seen in a game, and I just find that to be such a weird compliment because most games would not care and live this far back, and this game really should have less iteration time, because gameplay's not why we're here. Stuff like that, saying kill is confirmed. Later in the game, he is not going to be saying very much like that. But yes, there should be less iteration time in this game, and checkpoints probably more fair. I don't know how much of this game was really... I wonder what kind of pressure they were under from the publishers, Jaeger Games was, when making this game, because this is not a game you can really market to anybody, because whoever you market to is going to be trying to have fun with it, and but you can't convince somebody who likes artistic games, like people who are really into the independent stuff, be like, oh, there's this new modern military shooter out and it's really good, you should play it, and most of them would be like, no. So they probably should have scaled the difficulty back a lot, in terms of checkpoints and stuff, because this game is not... I really feel like I'm repeating myself a lot, but these early parts of the game are kind of hard. With the difficulty. You know, I never even realized you could come over here to this area. Aim! Would you aim, please? Don't do that thing where when you get up into an area, you will no longer aim.
Focus your fire on the guy with the shotgun. Concentrate fire!
Tango, down for the kill! He's exploded!
Threat eliminated!
Okay, so I need something to say, because right now I don't know why, but... Oh, you know, after having... I should probably try to come up with a subject to discuss in every video. Because I felt like I was doing that, particularly in that last part, but here, not so much.
Alright, let's hurry up then.
Don't see the run button and the cover button being on the same button is not a good button. It doesn't work that well. I find myself sliding into cover a lot. Now, if I remember correctly, the, well, what just happened? Was that from them hitting into me? That's really weird, actually. If I can remember correctly, they're around here, or I think it is up here, where the next intel is.
Come on, through the building.
Aren't the 33rd supposed to be heroes? This torture sounds a bit extreme.
How about with the radio man running the show?
I am pretty sure it is over where
A reporter traveling with the 33rd. Weird guy. Kind you didn't want loose in a fire.
is up the stairs.
Never spoke to him, but the colonel
I should probably keep a thing open where I can find these because I'm running mostly on memory on these
trust finally caught up with him.
So what makes
on these intel. I should probably
You don't forget a voice.
there we are.
Signal's still shit. We gotta go further down.
Hey! If you have any idea who I am, let him go, Nabil. That's right. Hands off the goods.
You have 30 seconds. Tell me what you want.
What I want, what I want is you, man, on record, telling me about the genocide you and your friends are trying to keep hidden from the rest of the world. Yeah.
Madness! You have no idea what you are saying. Get him out of here!
Oh, yeah? Well, I'll tell you what I know. I know the truth, man, and the truth is where it's at. I know every expat and fat cat Emirati hightailed it out of Dubai on permanent vacation 2 days before your office shit-canned a news piece about the storms. Yeah, and I know your wife and kids left this morning, and I know your mistress is leaving town tonight.
What a chup, Sala! You know nothing of Dubai, my friend. If you did, you would know the truth is whatever we wish it to be. Any evidence you find to the contrary will never change that. Now get out of my office.
You can't hide the truth, man!
You can't handle the truth. Yes. So, I believe, actually, this is quite close to the end of the chapter. Just trying to... I always have a problem in games that are really linear like this, where it's kind of hard to see where we go. Liar's Lair. I like a lot of the writing on the wall. I wish they do more with that as the game goes on. And the colors here are really good, actually. I really like the color. The color scheme or palette, as they would refer to it as. The lighting effects are very good here. I find a lot of the games now, especially these modern military shooters, they get really, well, games in general now, get really choked up on
Way out of here.
door up ahead?
just kind of the technicals of graphics and not the aesthetic design of the graphics, which is infinitely more important.
Shit! Son of a bitch!
This really seems like an Uncharted thing with the Nolan North voice now. Granted, even this kind of ridiculous falling is a lot more realistic than anything that happens in Uncharted, which is absolutely, completely over-the-top ridiculous. Oh, that graphic pop-in. Now, I don't know if that's exclusive to the PS3 version or not. I'm sure the PC is better, and the Xbox is probably better on that too. The PS3 is just basically a disaster of like graphical processing for developers. But I will see you guys in the next part where we will do Chapter 6.
Find a rifle fast.
Bye-bye.